Most millionaires stand out not only for their strategic skills, but also for the expressive and assertive way in which they make decisions and close deals. Body language and nonverbal communication play an essential role in this process, serving as tools of influence, leadership, and power. They understand that, in a world where first impressions and trust are fundamental, every gesture, look, and posture has a direct impact on the outcome of negotiations. A striking characteristic of millionaires in decision-making situations is the confidence that shines through in their posture. They usually maintain an upright and relaxed posture, projecting authority and control. Even in moments of pressure, their facial expressions remain composed, demonstrating an emotional balance that inspires security in others involved. This unshakable confidence not only reflects their mastery of the subject, but also creates an environment where other parties feel more inclined to trust their proposals. In addition, they use deliberate and precise gestures to reinforce their messages. Instead of excessive or disorganized movements, their gestures are calculated to emphasize key points, making their ideas more convincing. For example, using hand movements to indicate expansion, growth, or closing a cycle reinforces concepts of progress and results. They know that gestures, when aligned with words, make communication more powerful and impactful. Eye contact is also a tool that millionaires masterfully master. They maintain a steady but not intimidating gaze, creating a direct connection with their interlocutors. This practice demonstrates genuine interest, conveys authority, and makes the other party feel valued. This balance between assertiveness and empathy is essential to building trust, an indispensable element for closing significant deals. Another notable characteristic is the way they manage pauses and silences. Instead of filling every moment with words, they use intentional pauses to create impact and give weight to their statements. These moments of silence not only capture attention, but also give listeners time to process information, creating an environment more conducive to assertive decisions. Millionaires are also keen observers, able to read the body language of their interlocutors with skill. They identify signs of hesitation, interest, or discomfort and adjust their approach in real time. This sensitivity allows them to anticipate objections and shape their proposals in a way that best meets the expectations of the other party, increasing the chances of success in the negotiation. In essence, the expressiveness of millionaires in making decisions and closing deals is a reflection of their understanding of the power of nonverbal communication. Their ability to align confidence, clarity, and empathy makes them masters in the art of influence. They know that, in many situations, what is not said is as important as the words, and they use this to their advantage to transform complex negotiations into solid and profitable conquests. Posture and body gestures have a profound impact on nonverbal communication and play an essential role in building a striking presence. These elements, often underestimated, are capable of transforming an ordinary person into a charismatic and influential leader. An upright and confident posture, for example, not only reflects confidence and self-control, but also projects an image of inner strength that inspires respect and admiration. By positioning oneself firmly and with poise, a person communicates to the world that they are ready to take on responsibilities and face challenges, naturally becoming more attractive and trustworthy in the eyes of others. Body language also has an incredible ability to shape perceptions. The simple act of maintaining constant eye contact can establish a genuine connection, conveying interest and attention. A sincere smile has the power to dismantle emotional barriers, creating an atmosphere of empathy and human warmth. In addition, open body language, such as relaxed arms and visible hands, signals receptiveness and transparency, two fundamental qualities for building trust in any type of interaction, whether professional or personal. Another crucial aspect of a persuasive millionaire is the effective use of body space. Large and precise gestures, when well executed, not only capture attention, but also reinforce the authority and credibility of the sender of the message. Movements that demonstrate intentionality and clarity help to create a visual impact that reinforces the word spoken, making them more memorable and convincing. At the same time, the balance between the use of space and the moderation of gestures avoids exaggerations that could seem artificial or forced, ensuring authentic and powerful communication. These elements of nonverbal communication, when harmonized, become indispensable tools for those who wish to exercise leadership and influence. A charismatic leader knows that the impact of his words is amplified by the way his body accompanies them, and it is through this mastery that he wins not only the attention, but also the respect and loyalty of those who follow him. Thus, posture and body gestures are not mere details, but fundamental pillars for building a presence that inspires and motivates. Persuasion through body language is supported by several areas of science, especially psychology, neuroscience, and body language. The human body communicates information as powerfully as words, often influencing the perception and decisions of others unconsciously. This is because gestures and postures trigger brain processes linked to the interpretation of intentions, empathy, and the establishment of trust. One of the scientific pillars of this influence is the concept of mirror neurons, discovered in the 1990s. These neurons, present in the human brain, are activated both when we perform an action and when we observe another person performing the same action. This means that a person's gestures can generate similar emotional or motor responses in the person observing them, creating a kind of tuning between the two. For example, an open gesture, such as outstretched arms or hands in view, signals welcome and transparency, inducing the observer to feel more comfortable and willing to collaborate. Another relevant aspect is the instinctive reading of body language. Since ancient times, humans have learned to interpret nonverbal signals as a matter of survival. Expansive postures, such as taking up more physical space or holding the chin high, are associated with dominance and power, while closed or withdrawn postures convey submission or insecurity. Studies indicate that people tend to trust leaders who display open postures more, as these convey authority and emotional control without appearing threatening. Specific gestures also have a direct impact on persuasion. For example, pointing with the palms of the hands facing upwards is considered less aggressive and more inviting than pointing with the index finger. This subtle difference can affect how the message is received, making the interlocutor more receptive to the idea presented. Likewise, smooth and rhythmic movements during a conversation signal stability and self-control, while abrupt or disorderly gestures can generate discomfort or distrust. In addition, rhythm and body synchrony can facilitate the creation of rapport, an emotional and psychological connection between the parties. When a person subtly imitates the gestures and posture of another person, a technique known as mirroring, this activates the brain of the observer the feeling of similarity and empathy. Scientifically, this technique is based on the fact that human beings, by nature, prefer to interact with those they perceive as similar. The power of gestures is also amplified by their alignment with emotions. Gestures that are congruent with the tone and content of the speech generate coherence, strengthening credibility. For example, opening your arms while saying, "I am available to help," reinforces the feeling of availability and honesty. On the other hand, when words and gestures conflict, such as crossing your arms when stating something positive, the brain of the receiver prioritizes nonverbal signals, often interpreting them as more honest. Science also shows that gestures can influence the sender himself. The concept of power poses, introduced by psychologist Amy Cuddy, suggests that expansive postures not only affect how others perceive us, but also how we feel internally. Studies indicate that maintaining a confident posture for a few minutes can increase testosterone levels, a hormone associated with assertiveness, and reduce cortisol levels, related to stress, preparing the person to act in a more convincing and assertive manner. Therefore, body gestures are highly effective persuasive tools, as they speak directly to the observer's emotional and instinctive system, shaping their perceptions and decisions in an often unconscious manner. Mastering this nonverbal language, combined with the scientific knowledge behind it, allows for more strategic and empathetic influence, whether in negotiations, leadership, or interpersonal relationships. From a social perspective, body gestures are a powerful tool of persuasion, as they act in a subtle way, influencing the behavior and emotions of other people without them consciously realizing it. This is because nonverbal communication has a direct connection with human emotions, being processed almost instinctively by the brain. When we use our gestures strategically and naturally, we create an environment of trust and connection, essential elements for persuading someone. One of the main aspects of persuasion through body gestures is creating an atmosphere of empathy and alignment. When we adjust our body language to reflect that of the other person, a technique known as mirroring, we send an unconscious signal that we are in tune with the other person. This can include similar gestures, similar postures, or even synchronized rhythms of movement. This type of behavior creates a feeling of familiarity and comfort, which predisposes the other person to open up more easily to our ideas. In addition, gestures that demonstrate openness and transparency are crucial to gaining the trust of others. Keeping your arms uncrossed, your palms facing up or visible, and avoiding sudden or nervous movements are all signals that convey confidence and honesty. This open body language is especially effective in contexts where persuasion depends on appearing trustworthy, such as negotiations, sales, or debates. Another powerful resource is the ability to use gestures to reinforce key points during a conversation. Movements such as opening your arms to emphasize an idea or using your hands to illustrate numbers or proportions help to make your message clearer and more visually engaging. These gestures not only keep the other person's attention, but they also help to solidify the credibility and authority of the speaker, as they demonstrate mastery of the content being presented. Eye contact, in turn, is an essential element for persuasion. Looking the other person in the eye conveys sincerity and shows that you are fully present in the interaction. This simple gesture, when used correctly, creates an emotional bond that can make the other person feel heard and valued, which makes them more receptive to your ideas. Finally, the use of physical space also has a significant impact on social persuasion. People who occupy space confidently, with broad movements and a firm posture, tend to be perceived as more influential. However, it is important to balance this physical presence with respect for the other person's personal space, to prevent the confident attitude from being interpreted as aggressive. When used consciously and authentically, body gestures not only reinforce the verbal message, but also create an emotional connection that significantly increases the power of persuasion. Thus, nonverbal communication becomes an indispensable tool in any social interaction where the goal is to influence, conquer, or inspire. Donald Trump, the 45th President of the United States, is a figure who transcends politics. Although the subject here is not politics, it is important to highlight and recognize that he is known for his ability to influence people and dominate the spotlight. Loved by some, hated by others, Trump was born on June 14, 1946, in Queens, New York, and grew up in a family with solid roots in the real estate market. His father, Fred Trump, was a renowned entrepreneur in the sector, and it was from this competitive environment that Donald began to build his business vision and his unshakable confidence. As a young man, Trump attended the New York Military Academy, where he learned discipline and leadership, and later entered the Wharton School of Finance and Commerce at the University of Pennsylvania, where he consolidated his foundation in economics and business. These experiences were fundamental in shaping his bold and direct style, which would come to define his professional and political trajectory. After completing his studies, he took over the family business, renaming it the Trump Organization. Under his leadership, the business expanded rapidly, encompassing luxury hotels, iconic skyscrapers, casinos, golf courses, and resorts. Trump had a unique vision for transforming real estate projects into symbols of status and power, reinforcing his image as a tycoon with a taste for the grandiose. In 1987, he released The Art of the Deal, a book that combined business lessons with persuasion strategies, which became a bestseller, solidifying his reputation as a master of building successful narratives. But what truly sets Donald Trump apart is his innate ability to connect with people, both individually and in large numbers. He has developed a unique ability to read body language and convey powerful messages through calculated gestures and engaging speeches. Trump uses simple gestures, such as the finger clasp gesture or pointing directly, to reinforce his authority and presence. These gestures, combined with a confident posture and deliberate diction, create an impression of command that attracts attention and keeps his audience engaged. In addition, his verbal communication is structured to be accessible and persuasive. He combines short, repetitive phrases with an assertive tone, creating messages that are easily memorized and amplified. This strategy allowed him to mobilize millions of supporters during his presidential campaign, using his charisma and ability to speak directly to people's concerns as a tool to break down traditional political barriers. Trump has also known how to use the media as an extension of his influence. Long before his foray into politics, he was already a household name in the United States, in part due to his appearances on television shows such as The Apprentice. He understood like few others the power of image and public narrative, transforming each appearance into a strategic event to consolidate his personal brand. His career, marked by ups and downs, is a testament to his resilience and his ability to reinvent himself. From real estate mogul to reality TV star and finally leader of one of the world's most powerful nations, Trump has shown that his true power lies in the way he inspires, challenges, and influences those around him. Whether through his words, gestures, or actions, he makes it clear that leadership goes beyond strategy. It is rooted in the art of winning minds and hearts. Body language plays a crucial role in negotiations and persuasion, often having more influence than the words spoken. Nonverbal communication can convey confidence, empathy, openness, or authority, creating a significant impact on how others receive and respond to messages. Mastering this language is essential for those who want to persuade accurately and effectively. An upright and relaxed posture, for example, conveys confidence and control, while open gestures, such as arms slightly away from the body and visible palms, indicate honesty and receptiveness. Eye contact, another key element, demonstrates interest and connection, but must be measured so as not to appear intimidating. When used well, it creates an environment of trust and facilitates mutual understanding. Small gestures can be equally powerful. Controlled movements, such as nodding your head slightly to signal agreement, or gesturing rhythmically with your hands while speaking, help reinforce arguments and maintain the interest of the other person. The synchrony between facial expressions and spoken words strengthens the authenticity of the message, making it more persuasive. A genuine smile, for example, can diffuse tension and create a more collaborative atmosphere. However, the impact of body language goes beyond what is conveyed. It also shapes internal behavior. Research shows that assuming confident postures, known as power poses, can increase the feeling of control and improve performance in high-pressure situations. This internal reflex is a valuable tool in negotiations, where emotional balance is essential. On the other hand, poorly calibrated body language can undermine even the best arguments. Abrupt movements, crossed arms, or frequently looking away can be interpreted as signs of disinterest, insecurity, or even hostility. Therefore, body awareness is not just about what you want to convey, but also about avoiding barriers to communication. Additionally, reading the other party's body language in a negotiation offers valuable insights. A slight leaning of the body toward the other party can indicate interest, while signals such as crossed arms or an evasive look can suggest resistance or discomfort. Recognizing these cues allows you to adjust your approach in real time, increasing your chances of success. In short, body language is a powerful tool in negotiations and persuasion. It acts as an essential complement to verbal communication, creating a deeper and more effective connection with the other party. When used consciously, it can not only convey messages clearly, but also shape the perception and behavior of everyone involved, leading to more positive and accurate results. Here are 10 everyday business situations where body language can be strategically used to persuade, self-promote, and impact the media. 1. During presentations in meetings, whether with clients or colleagues, the way you communicate goes beyond the words you pronounce. Your posture, gestures, and control over your body language have a significant impact on how your message is received. An upright posture, for example, conveys confidence and authority. When you stand firmly but relaxed, you demonstrate not only mastery of the topic, but also a presence that inspires confidence in your listeners. This impression is crucial, especially in business environments where credibility and trust are key to success. Controlled gestures also play a key role. Excessively large or disorderly movements can distract the audience or, worse, convey insecurity. On the other hand, precise and moderate gestures that accompany the words and emphasize key points help to reinforce the message and maintain the audience's interest. Raising your hands slightly when describing a concept or using them to mark the transition between different ideas can make all the difference in the impact of your presentation. In addition, eye contact is a powerful tool. Looking directly at the meeting participants demonstrates interest and creates a personal connection, while averting your gaze can be interpreted as a sign of insecurity or disinterest. Maintaining a balance between speaking to the group as a whole and addressing specific people in the audience makes communication more engaging and effective. Another important element is the synchrony between facial expression and the content of the speech. A discreet smile when highlighting a positive point or a serious expression when addressing a challenge reinforces the authenticity and coherence of the message. Facial expressions, when aligned with the context, help to create a more convincing and emotionally connected narrative. In addition to posture and gestures, the use of space is also important. Moving in a controlled manner during the presentation, without becoming static or excessively agitated, maintains the dynamic and helps to capture the attention of the listeners. A balanced physical presence reinforces the idea that you are comfortable in the role of leader of the conversation. Therefore, in meetings, an upright posture, controlled gestures and coherent expressions are not only aesthetic details, but strategic tools to convey confidence, clarity, and credibility. Each movement and each look has the power to strengthen your message, creating an environment conducive to your ideas being not only heard, but also valued and adopted. 2. In business negotiations, nonverbal communication plays an essential role in establishing trust and moving discussions forward. One of the simplest but incredibly effective gestures is to lean slightly toward the other person while they are speaking. This subtle movement conveys genuine interest and respect for the other party's opinion. It signals that you are engaged in the conversation, which can create a more receptive and collaborative environment. This active posture is especially valuable in moments of delicate negotiation, where every detail can influence the final decision. In addition, calm and controlled gestures are equally important. Visible hands and smooth movements, such as gesturing moderately while explaining specific points, help to create an atmosphere of balance and security. Abrupt or excessive gestures can be perceived as signs of impatience or nervousness, which can jeopardize the trust built throughout the negotiation. On the other hand, maintaining a calm rhythm in your movements and speech helps to reinforce the idea that you are in control of the situation, but also open to dialogue. Another critical aspect of business negotiations is facial expression. A slight smile at appropriate moments can ease tension and demonstrate empathy, while neutral or focused expressions show that you are paying attention to the details of what is being said. The combination of calm gestures and congruent facial expressions reinforces the idea of authenticity, which is crucial to building a bond of trust with the other party. Eye contact also plays a key role. Looking directly at the other person while they are speaking shows that you are listening carefully and value what they have to say. This visual connection can be the factor that separates a successful negotiation from one that fails, as it helps to build a deeper level of trust and mutual respect. In addition to all this, physical proximity and the way you occupy space can influence the perception of the negotiation. By leaning forward slightly, you establish a closer connection, but without invading the other person's personal space. This balance between proximity and respect reinforces the idea that the negotiation is a partnership, not a confrontation. Subtle gestures, open postures, and well-calibrated body language can transform a simple conversation into a successful business negotiation. They not only show that you are attentive and engaged, but they also create an environment where collaboration is more likely, increasing the chances of reaching a win-win agreement. 3. Participating in networking events is a valuable opportunity to build connections, and the way you present yourself can determine the success of these interactions. A warm smile, for example, is one of the most powerful elements in this type of environment. It not only creates a positive first impression, but also conveys a sense of openness and approachability, encouraging people to approach you and start a conversation. When accompanied by a friendly tone of voice and a receptive posture, a smile becomes a natural bridge to initiating professional relationships. Relaxed arms, without being crossed or tense, communicate receptiveness and show that you are at ease in the environment. This body language is essential to create an atmosphere of comfort and dialogue, indicating that you are willing to listen and collaborate. Welcoming gestures, such as leaning forward slightly when listening to someone or gesturing moderately while speaking, help build a more authentic and engaging connection. In addition, the way you occupy space in the event environment can influence how others perceive you. Moving naturally, maintaining eye contact and smiling at different people demonstrates confidence and enthusiasm. This prevents you from appearing withdrawn or overly aggressive, finding a balance that makes you more approachable. Another important aspect is the ability to show genuine interest in the people you interact with. Listening attentively while someone speaks and responding with facial expressions that reflect empathy and understanding create a sense of appreciation and mutual respect. These small gestures help transform a simple exchange of words into a solid foundation for a lasting professional relationship. Therefore, participating in networking events requires more than well-chosen words. It demands careful mastery of nonverbal communication. Through a warm smile, welcoming gestures, and a relaxed posture, you project an image of approachability and confidence that encourages meaningful conversations and the building of valuable relationships. This skill, when used well, can open doors to opportunities that go beyond the event, creating connections that translate into personal and professional growth. Point 4. Participating in networking events is a valuable opportunity to build connections, expand your network, and strengthen your professional presence. In an environment where personal interaction is the key to opening doors, the way you present yourself makes all the difference. A warm smile is one of the most powerful elements in this context. It conveys friendliness, approachability, and a genuine interest in connecting with people, creating a lighter and more inviting atmosphere. By smiling, you reduce barriers and encourage the other person to approach you, making the conversation more natural from the beginning. Body posture also plays a crucial role. Keeping your arms relaxed and an open posture signals that you are receptive and approachable, as opposed to crossing your arms, which can be interpreted as disinterest or resistance. Welcoming gestures, such as firm but friendly greetings and slight head tilts while listening, reinforce your willingness to listen and genuinely engage in the conversation. This positive body language not only attracts people, but also builds the perception that you are confident and self-assured, qualities often associated with success. When interacting at networking events, eye contact is another element that cannot be overlooked. Looking directly into the eyes of your interlocutor while speaking or listening demonstrates attention and respect, creating an immediate and deeper connection. This practice, combined with facial expressions that reflect interest, such as a slight nod, helps to cement the feeling that you value the other person's time and perspective. In addition, the modulation of your voice and choice of words also complement your body language. A balanced tone of voice, combined with strategic pauses, conveys clarity and confidence. When combined with a receptive posture, it makes your communication more engaging and memorable, increasing the chances that people will remember you after the event. At networking events, the goal is not just to meet lots of people, but to create impressions that leave a lasting impact. Welcoming body language, accompanied by genuine attention and clear communication, establish a solid foundation for professional relationships that can turn into partnerships, business opportunities, or even long-lasting friendships. Being approachable and showing interest is more than a matter of politeness. It is an effective strategy for building a positive image and expanding your possibilities in the professional world. 5. In interviews or media appearances, whether on television, radio, or podcasts, the way you present yourself is as important as the content of what you say. Posture, gestures, and general expressiveness play a determining role in how your message will be perceived and remembered by the audience. A confident posture, with relaxed shoulders and an upright spine, conveys security and mastery of the subject. This type of presence helps to create an image of authority, which is essential to gaining the attention and respect of the audience. Precise and controlled gestures are another valuable tool. Exaggerated movements can seem theatrical or forced, while subtle gestures that follow the rhythm of the speech reinforce the most important points. For example, using your hands to indicate a sequence or to emphasize a key idea helps to create a visual connection with the audience and give more weight to your words. Gestures that reflect the meaning of what is being said make communication clearer and more impactful, making it easier for the message to be assimilated. Eye contact, even in remote or recorded interviews, is also essential. Looking directly at the camera or the interviewer demonstrates confidence and creates a sense of closeness, as if you are speaking directly to each viewer or listener. Avoiding your gaze or appearing distracted can give the impression of insecurity or disinterest, weakening the impact of your message. Facial expression is another important element in media appearances. A slight smile can convey friendliness and openness, while more serious expressions, when aligned with the context, help reinforce the gravity of a point. It is important that facial expressions are natural and consistent with what is being said, as any disconnection can be perceived as a lack of authenticity. The voice also deserves attention. Tone, pace, and intonation should be adjusted to maintain the audience's interest. Speaking clearly, without rushing, and varying intonation to highlight key ideas are practices that keep the audience engaged. A monotone speech can cause listeners to lose interest, while an energetic and well-modulated voice creates impact and retains attention. In addition, timing is crucial in media appearances. In many interviews, time is limited, and the ability to synthesize information clearly and objectively demonstrates preparation and professionalism. Concise answers that still convey depth help reinforce your credibility and make the interview more memorable. 6 pitches to investors. Presenting a pitch to investors is an art that combines clarity, strategy, and the ability to convey confidence. During these crucial moments, it is not only the words that make the difference, but also the way they are said and accompanied by nonverbal communication. Direct eye contact, for example, is a powerful tool in this context. Looking investors in the eye while presenting your idea creates an immediate connection, conveying security and genuine interest. This practice not only reinforces the verbal message, but also helps build trust, an indispensable element in investment decisions. In addition to eye contact, gestures play a fundamental role in the structure and impact of the pitch. Hand movements that emphasize the most important points of the presentation help to illustrate ideas clearly and visually, making the speech more dynamic and engaging. A simple gesture, such as opening your hands when talking about growth opportunities or pointing to numbers on a screen, can communicate much more than words alone. When used well, these movements make the content more memorable and reinforce the conviction with which the presenter defends his proposal. Posture is also essential. A presenter who stands up straight and firm conveys authority and professionalism, demonstrating that he or she is prepared to lead and take on responsibilities. This posture should be complemented by controlled movement around the room, if the pitch allows it. Walking moderately between slides or physically interacting with the presentation projects dynamism and keeps the audience interested, while excessively rigid behavior can be interpreted as a lack of flexibility or nervousness. Another aspect that cannot be ignored is the tone of voice and the pace of the speech. Speaking clearly, in a tone that conveys enthusiasm and conviction, is essential to capture attention and motivate investors to see the potential of the project. Strategic pauses can also be used to highlight important points, allowing listeners to process the most critical information. This balance between energy and thoughtfulness creates an engaging pace that keeps the audience engaged from start to finish. Finally, it is important to remember that investors are not only evaluating the idea presented, but also the person or team behind it. Demonstrating enthusiasm for the project, combined with the ability to answer questions calmly and accurately, reflects a total command of the subject. This creates the impression that not only is the idea solid, but also that the person presenting it is prepared to face challenges and transform the vision into reality. Therefore, the success of a pitch to investors goes far beyond the content presented. It depends on the ability to align verbal and nonverbal communication to convey confidence, clarity, and passion, making it clear that the project is not only viable, but also an opportunity that cannot be denied. 7. Conflict mediation. Conflict mediation is a skill that requires balance and sensitivity, and body language plays a crucial role in this process. To create an environment where the parties involved feel comfortable and willing to talk, it is essential to adopt a neutral but receptive stance. This neutrality does not mean apathy. On the contrary, it is a way of conveying impartiality and ensuring that everyone involved feels that their perspectives are being respected. An open posture, with arms uncrossed and a body position that demonstrates attentiveness, can help to reduce emotional barriers between parties. Open body language indicates that the mediator is approachable and willing to listen, which is essential to building trust. Balanced eye contact, alternating between the parties in conflict, reinforces this message of impartiality and creates a sense of equality in the interaction. Facial expressions are also powerful tools during mediation. Showing empathy through subtle smiles or calm expressions helps to soften the atmosphere and demonstrates that the mediator understands the emotions and concerns of those involved. An attentive gaze, combined with slight nods of the head, can validate what is being said without having to interrupt or take sides. These micro-expressions create a space of mutual understanding, where emotions are acknowledged without exacerbating conflicts. In addition, tone of voice and gestures need to be aligned with the message of peacemaking. Soft gestures and slow movements when speaking help to convey calm and stability, encouraging others to respond in kind. Abrupt movements or tense expressions can increase the feeling of hostility, while thoughtful gestures create a more harmonious rhythm to the conversation. The mediator can also use his or her physical position strategically. Sitting at an equidistant point between the parties, for example, reinforces neutrality and avoids the perception of favoritism. Slight movements towards a speaker when he or she is speaking demonstrate full attention, while maintaining a centralized position ensures that the focus is evenly distributed. The ability to recognize and interpret the body language of those involved is also a crucial advantage for an effective mediator. Identifying signs of resistance, such as crossed arms or turned faces, allows you to adjust your approach and find ways to encourage active participation. At the same time, recognizing signs of openness, such as smiles or relaxation in posture, indicates that the dialogue is progressing positively. 8. Public speeches or lectures. Public speeches or lectures are moments in which communication goes far beyond words. Broad gestures that are congruent with the content presented are essential to capture the audience's attention and bring more life to the ideas being conveyed. These movements not only illustrate the main points, but also create a visual connection that makes the speech more engaging. When gestures are used strategically, they help reinforce emotions, emphasize important concepts, and make a presentation memorable. The use of intentional pauses is another essential element in this context. Pausing at the right time is not only a public speaking technique, but also a powerful tool for giving weight to words. These interruptions in the flow of a speech allow the audience to absorb the information presented, creating an atmosphere of reflection and expectation. A well-timed pause before a crucial point or after an impactful statement can transform a simple sentence into something unforgettable. Direct eye contact is also essential. Looking at the audience establishes a relationship of trust and closeness, giving the sensation that the speaker is speaking directly to each person present. This gaze should be distributed evenly, sweeping across the audience so that everyone feels included. More than a connection technique, eye contact conveys confidence and authenticity, two crucial factors for gaining the attention and engagement of the audience. The congruence between verbal and nonverbal language also plays a decisive role in the impact of a speech. When gestures, facial expressions, and intonation are aligned with the content and emotion you want to convey, the message becomes more persuasive and engaging. A speaker who demonstrates enthusiasm and passion through his/her body language is much more effective in engaging the audience than one who limits himself/herself to expressionless words. Therefore, a public speech or lecture is not just an exposition of ideas, but a performance in which each gesture, pause, and glance plays a fundamental role in building a lasting impact. It is the combination of these elements that transforms an ordinary speech into a powerful experience, capable of inspiring, motivating, and convincing the audience. 9 inches job interviews, every detail counts, and nonverbal communication plays a decisive role in building a solid first impression. A genuine smile, for example, is more than an expression of friendliness. It conveys receptiveness and creates an immediate connection with the interviewer. When the smile is authentic, it demonstrates not only optimism but also self-confidence, two qualities highly valued in a candidate. The handshake, in turn, is another element that has a great impact. It is often the first point of physical contact between the candidate and the interviewer, and its firmness conveys determination and security. A weak handshake can be interpreted as a lack of confidence, while an overly strong grip can seem aggressive. Finding the right balance is essential to projecting an image of professionalism and poise. In addition, posture plays a central role. Standing up straight, with your shoulders relaxed and your gaze directed at the interviewer, indicates self-confidence and interest. An open posture, without crossed arms or defensive movements, suggests that the candidate is at ease and willing to engage in the conversation. The way you occupy the space is also important. Sitting balanced, without appearing rigid or slouched, reflects emotional control and attention to detail. Another crucial point is eye contact. During the conversation, maintaining a steady, but not fixed or intimidating, gaze demonstrates focus and honesty. Avoiding eye contact can be interpreted as insecurity or lack of transparency, while looking directly at the interviewer while answering questions reinforces the feeling that the candidate is fully engaged in the moment and confident in their answers. Subtle gestures are also very important. Moderate hand movements to emphasize key points during speech help to convey clarity and engagement. However, excessive or repetitive gestures can be distracting and detract from the message. The synchrony between body movements and spoken words strengthens the perception of coherence and authenticity. Facial expressions complement the entire process. In addition to the initial smile, expressions that accompany the emotions conveyed in speech, such as a slight frown when addressing challenges or an excited expression when talking about achievements, help to make communication more impactful. This congruence between verbal and nonverbal expressions creates an impression of integrity and genuineness. Therefore, the way a candidate presents themselves in a job interview goes far beyond their resume or the answers they give. Their body language, from their smile and handshake to their posture and gestures, communicates a lot about their personality, confidence, and willingness to work. When used well, nonverbal communication can be the deciding factor in differentiating a good candidate from an exceptional one, ensuring that your message is not only heard, but also remembered. 10. Self-promotion on social media. Self-promotion on social media is a powerful tool for building an image of authority, engagement, and authenticity. When it comes to creating videos or hosting live broadcasts, body language plays an essential role in how your message is perceived. A relaxed but firm posture conveys confidence and security, making the audience feel more inclined to trust what is being said. This posture demonstrates that you are comfortable in the role of communicator, generating a natural connection with viewers. Friendly facial expressions are equally important in this context. A genuine smile, for example, can transform the way your message is received, making the content more approachable and warm. Most audiences seek authenticity on social media, and facial expressions that reflect enthusiasm and sincerity create an impression of closeness. Looking directly into the camera simulates eye contact, giving the feeling that you are speaking directly to each viewer. This is particularly effective in capturing attention and building trust, even in a virtual environment. In addition, body and hand movements complement the narrative visually, helping to emphasize important points or convey energy and dynamism. Natural gestures that follow the rhythm of speech make communication more engaging, while exaggerated or uncoordinated movements can distract or even alienate the audience. The balance between expressiveness and naturalness is crucial for your presentation to sound authentic and professional. Another important aspect is the tone of voice, which must be aligned with body language to create harmony in communication. A calm and confident voice, combined with a confident posture and friendly expressions, reinforces credibility and charisma. This combination is capable of captivating the audience and keeping them engaged, regardless of the topic discussed. Personal promotion on social media, especially in videos and live broadcasts, is more than just sharing information. It is about building a personal brand that resonates with the audience, and body language is one of the pillars of this construction. When used well, it not only makes communication clearer and more engaging, but also creates an emotional bond with viewers, turning casual followers into true fans and supporters. In all of these situations, mastering body language allows you to align verbal and nonverbal communication, creating greater impact and facilitating the effective transmission of ideas. Did you like the content? Your opinion is very important to us. Leave a comment sharing your ideas, questions, or experiences. We would love to hear what you think and continue this conversation. Join us.